Okay. So we get paid at the end of the quarter, basically.
We'd have to set up with the finance manager, everything that's required under the grant. There's certain requirements, and then there's
And Mike, you're looking at this being a traffic unit person?
this would be the person that's going to actually, a combination of things, fill in, is going to be doing code, going to be doing backup, specialized community oriented policing in traffic. Yeah, there'll be part of it is traffic downtown. It's going to be doing a little bit of everything. Hitting like if we have a problem area, they'll be coordinating with the, different groups in town to try to almost create a neighborhood watch thing where they're getting more involved with the neighborhoods. And part of that is code, the main part, because he's going to make a lot of contacts during the daytime with people, and to be able to, they're probably going to tell him other things that are going on that we can incorporate into his patrol activity and duties. He'll have a daily activity sheet he's going to turn in, with everything, that information he has and what he's done.
Does this mean we'll need another vehicle too then?
Yes, sir. I've already got it taken care
I
of.
was waiting for.
Hmm?
I figured that it probably did.
He said he already took care of it.
Really?
Is it already taken care of?
I'm sorry, what?
Is it already taken care of?
It's already taken care of. That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about at the end of the night.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a person.
Yes, we do. We have a part-time officer who's been working out very well. He's well-liked in the community. He's a local person from Penrose. He's very well-known here. He's actually worked in town is in management for about 5 years, over the last 5 years at a local business here in town while he went to the police academy last year. So he's well-known. He's doing a great job. He's doing every aspect. I'd like to make it a full-time position, have him fill that full-time position that's open. We're allowed to do that.
Well, the grant is for what length of time, or?
3 years, and then you have 1 year afterwards. You have to retain the grant person after that 3-year period is up. And it goes 75, 50, 25%. The breakdown, they pay 75 the government the first year, 50 the second, 25 the third, the fourth year. Then we have to keep them for that fourth year afterwards. But I think we'll have no problem funding that once we get to that fourth year.
I thought this was so this isn't Pinover?
No, that was a separate position we put in the budget
So
for next year.
Pinover's not till next year.
I'm sorry, what's sir?
I thought.
Well, we could pick either one. Either officer could go into it. Right now, Mike is part-time, and you and I think you're just
Right.
confused.
I'm just, because last week we had talked about Pinover's potentially starting, but we're not talking Pinover starting now?
No, he has not started.
No, I know he hasn't started, but I thought that,
This position was his.
I thought this position was for him, because we can't start him.
Yeah, we'll have to sit down and go over what we went over last week and clarify. Either one of them could start and be assigned. We could assign, Penover could be covered by the grant, or Mike could be covered, either one. We talked about it last week, and I think it was in the midst
So
of
we'll take out the individuals. We're asking council to authorize
the grant, authorization of the grant.
whoever it is, a person.
Whoever
Correct.
he selects.
For this year.
Yes, for this year.
If council wants to do that.
Yep.
And so we're talking.
How many officers does that make now, Mike?
Full-time with this grant officer would make 11 full-time,
Okay.
and 1 still part-time.
And how many reserves?
We just went up to the max 6, I believe.
Six
count, hang on.
reserves.
6.
Okay.
We just took on a gentleman named Colt he was a Fremont County Reserve. He wanted to come here, and we just took him on. As a matter of fact, Sunday, he just started as a reserve.
And that's the maximum reserves you can have,
Unless we change it, yeah, I believe it was 6.
is it?
So there's for coverage for work comp.
Yeah.
One of the reserves is down right now. He hurt his arm. He's one of the firefighters. He hurt his arm, so he's been off about 3 weeks, and we're kind of waiting for him to heal up. He's doing a great job. He puts a lot of hours. He's actually putting in about 30 hours a week donating until he hurt his arm.
And he used to be a police officer.
He used to be a police officer for 8 years. He's still post certified.
Yeah.
He's been cleared by post to work for us.
Good.
He did all his testing.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's a great guy.
So basically, if we're taking this employee, he would be step one in the police officer range?
Correct. 29,
For this
5,
year,
20
it's
something.
For this year, it's 28.9 for this year's budget.
I think we wrote it in the grant at 29.
Yeah, so he'd be that next year, but for this year, he'd be a little short of that. It's basically, step one is, well, $12 short, 28,988.
Close enough.
Functionally 29,000. So that works out to be 2,400 and some a month. And so we're halfway through this month. If we put him on, we would be looking at about $6,000 plus medical benefits. Well, no, actually, I won't have any medical benefits.
Well, and if he's full-time, there is a modification. I read the grant we can put in. I've got a call into Washington DC. She's going to get back to me tomorrow. They were closed today about modifying with the medical benefits, vacation time, workman's comp. That was, those figures were not given to our grant ladies at the time the grant was due. You don't know if you're going to hire a person with a family and 5 kids or a single man,
Yeah.
so there's a big difference in
Big
the
difference.
range of that insurance thing, so we can modify that.
Right, okay.
I have a
But basically,
question. Oh, go ahead. You finish.
There's no medical benefits though this year because they have to be on, there won't be enough time to get that, for them to accrue that. So for this year, out of this year's budget, we're basically looking at $6,000 plus whatever the other employee costs are that we would have for regular.
We'll minus and make that 75%.
I understand, they're gonna pay us back 75% of that. So basically, for this year, we're talking about roughly a $1,500 impact on the budget, plus a few other, 25% of whatever the other associated fees are.
I have a question. As I understood, we are hiring officer who works part-time right now, correct?
That could be.
So we
one of
actually
those.
already paying this person some money. I don't know if it's 20%, if it will sum up to 25% of what we have to pay or not. But we are already paying this person, so it might even not going to impact anything in this case, or is it still going to impact?
Well, I mean, financially, I think it can easily be absorbed, but my point is, in just wanting to have a discussion with the city council, we've budgeted the new position for next year. I just want to make sure the city council is comfortable if we start them early rather than later.
Paul?
Just real quick, are we still on the same timeline as to Patrick's,
Yeah,
We actually
coming
had-
in from Patrick?
We actually had the new director down. He visited with Mike and I Friday for some time, and he reassured us, now that he's there, everything will be moving a lot quicker.
And we could utilize some of that money
Yes,
for payment of both officers.
correct. And that's how I originally had planned that. That and some other monies.
Well, right now, if that money, the way I look at it, if that money comes in before the end of the year, I mean, it's got to, but it's really not reflected in our current revenue projections for this year at all. So if it comes in, that's kind of a bonus. We are in a position budget-wise where the 1,500, we'll be waiting to see the September numbers when they're finalized, but the most recent numbers we've had looked good for our ability to absorb a $1,500 hit. And as Svetlana points out, it really is largely absorbed by what we're already doing, but we just want to make sure that the council is on board with that.
And by readjusting, putting whoever this person may be in this particular spot and readjusting somebody else and kind of having them concentrate on a 4-day-a-week traffic enforcement a little more in our high priority areas like Main Street, up on 67, north part of 67, south part of 67, where we're getting pretty heavy, hefty speeders, and in the school zones, that would also bring in quite a bit of revenue in that manner. Not that we're going to be overzealous with it, but we need to enforce it because we've had some.
Plus what we annexed up there, you got more patrol. Charlotte, did you have a question?
I did.
Okay.
I think you just answered it though.
Okay.
So you're going to move the part-time person into full-time. Are you going to fill the part-time position then at that point?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Or if we take the other person and we keep it as is, leave the part-time, bring the other person in. So there's a couple different ways that Mr. Patterson and I can sit down and work it out to whatever he deems would fit the city properly for the last couple of months of the budget. I've got my ideas, he's got his, he usually beats me up about them pretty good, but we'll work it out between the two of us.
Arm wrestle.
I know.
And maybe this,
The bottom line is a 1,500, if we're gonna keep that part-time person there, then there's no accrued savings. It's a 1,500 extra.
All,
What do we need tonight? You need
Just
a-
Blessings.
approval of the, accepting the COPS grant.
Well,
Is that a motion or
no, it's
just
just,
a consensus?
he just wants an overall
No, I think,
idea of what the council feels.
we don't have it on the,
Yeah,
I mean, are we, I don't think we're actually asking you to accept the grant tonight. I think we'll do that next
he
month.
wants to know the
Tonight, we
overall
just
feel
want
of the
to-
council, correct?
I'm on board.
Just wants the council consensus to start this officer now instead of January 1.
okay.
Okay,
Yes.
Tony, I didn't see nothing from you. Are you sleeping?
No,
What'd you say?
I didn't say nothing.
Okay,
No, he said,
What's your
are
consensus
you
on
for
it?
or against it?
I'm going for it.
okay, so it looks like you got the total consensus. I see
Thank you.
everybody's head shaking.
thank you very much.
But bottom line, the caveat on this will be, if we are in a difficult budget situation, if somehow the revenues and things start to go south, we would have to let this officer know that they'll officially then be starting, we defer the rest of it until January 1st to kick off that. I'm not saying we're gonna go there, but if we get desperate, that's the person that we would go to with that.
I'm pretty confident.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, I think that is it, Mr. Mayor.
Yep, I think that's it.
That's it, huh?
What's official class?
6:59?
I just
That's
listened.
it.
7 o'clock.
7
That's a
Yeah.
6:59.
Mine says 7 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
7 o'clock?